today and see if I can't get this marker for Calvin and Maria Morley raised up. We are shortly before Memorial Day at this point, and he was a veteran who served in the Civil War. We'd like to have it up in time for Memorial Day. So I'm going to get the tools out, set things up, and see how it goes. Here's a map I've made of Morley Cemetery showing the family plots and the people buried at those family plots. Today we are focusing on Calvin and Maria Morley, located in Lot 73 in Section E. When I first came across this marker at the Morley Cemetery, it was like this, on its back, on the ground, half buried in grass, and had been that way for I don't know how long. Sadly, there are virtually no photographs of the cemetery from years past that we can refer to. There are a couple of exceptions, however. In 1969, the town of Arlington published a centennial book, and it included a photo of the cemetery. I took that and enhanced it in color and found a picture of Morley marker tilted slightly toward the east. There's also a picture of the cemetery taken in 2004 for the Find a Grave website, and it happens to feature this particular memorial, and you can see the marker is more tilted at that time. Calvin Morley was born May 5, 1822 in West Bloomfield, New York, to Ebenezer and Celinda Morley. He was the fifth child in a large family that eventually included as many as 12 children. Calvin spent his early years growing up on the family farm, where he learned the skills of farming that would shape much of his adult life. Sometime after 1840, the Morley family moved west from New York to Richland, Indiana, and continued farming. Maria Masters was born on March 28, 1824, in Wayne County, Pennsylvania, to Azariah and Joanna Masters. She was the first child born in her family. When Maria was 12 years old, she moved with her family to Steuben County, Indiana, where they settled on a farm near Fremont. It was there that she spent much of her adolescence. Calvin and Maria were married on January 8, 1845, in Steuben County. At the time of their marriage, Calvin was 22 years old and Maria was 20. I wanted to point this out here, that as I'm starting to dig a perimeter around this base to prepare to move it and set it up straight, I see there's some brick in the ground that my shovel is bumping into, pieces of brick. The other marker out here that I have straightened up had some bricks underground to try to support it and give it a base, and I suspect this one has had the same thing, but over time that brick has deteriorated and is probably part of the reason why it fell over. So I'm going to put a better base under than bricks, but I don't think the other positionist was recording and could see that well. But those are the bricks pieces down underground there. Calvin and Maria began their married life farming in Indiana, and during those years had two children, a daughter, Joanna, born in 1847, and a son, Azariah, born in 1850. Not long afterward, Calvin moved the family to a new farm in Michigan. While living there, the family continued to grow. In June 1853, Maria gave birth to twin daughters, Delilah and Delana. Their next child, William Henry Harrison Morley, was born in October 1858. Sadly, he died in February 1859, having lived only about 4 months. By that time, Maria was again pregnant, and in October 1859 she gave birth to another daughter, Phoebe. Several years earlier, in 1856, Maria's brother Silas Masters had moved his family from Indiana to Washington County, Nebraska Territory. In 1859, Calvin and Maria decided to follow him west and relocated their family to the same area in eastern Nebraska, where they established a farm. In October 1859, Calvin was able to purchase 160 acres of land from Bartlett Brown in Section 5 of Township 17N, Range 10E. 5 years later, in December 1864, Calvin bought the 160 acres to the east of his land from John H. Harrington, who had homesteaded there since around 1860. This gave Morley ownership of the entire east half of Section 5. In between these land purchases, Morley served in the Army during the Civil War. After the conflict began in 1861, the need for soldiers in the Union Army extended even into the Western Territories. On December 27, 1862, Calvin enlisted in the Union Army and became a private in Company H of the 2nd Nebraska Cavalry. His unit did not engage in combat with Confederate forces. Instead, Company K's service was largely focused on protecting the Nebraska frontier and engaging in conflicts with Native American tribes during the war. The regiment's most notable engagement was the Battle of Whitestone Hill, where they faced a large force of Sioux warriors. What I've found, the base under this is not as bad as I might have guessed. They did put 2, possibly 3 layers of bricks underneath here, and it's just the shifting of ground over time that caused this to tilt and eventually fall. So I'm thinking instead of taking all the bricks out, I'm just going to put some bricks back in, put my rock foundation on there too, and between these it should keep it up for a while. Calvin survived his military service and mustered out on December 23, 1863, after which he returned to his farm in eastern Nebraska Territory. At some point after the war, Calvin and Maria built a large house on their land and operated it as a stopping place for travelers heading west toward the Black Hills. It was a day's travel by ox team west from Omaha and east from West Point, Nebraska, to reach Morley's house, and so the site became known as the Halfway House. The Morleys provided food and lodging for travelers, and the location also served as a mail stop. Calvin served as postmaster for the region from 1867 to 1869. Cholera struck Calvin and Maria's family in 1866 when their twin daughters, Delilah and Delana, died on February 28th and March 1st respectively. They were just 12 years old. In September 1869, they lost their 9-year-old daughter, Phoebe. Just a few months later, in January 1870, their eldest daughter, Joanna, also died. It is not known whether the latter deaths were caused by the same illness that took the twins. Calvin set aside a specific plot within the cemetery for the Morley family, and it was there that his daughters were buried. These losses left Calvin and Maria with only one surviving child, their son, Azariah. Around 1885, when Calvin was 63 years old, he retired from farming and moved into the town of Arlington. Over the years, he served in several local civic roles, including Justice of the Peace and County Assessor. In 1889, he suffered injuries from an accident involving a runaway team of horses. After that incident, he was described as having a, quote, nervous affection, unquote, possibly referring to brain damage from his injuries. His health continued to decline, and by 1894, Maria was providing constant care for him. During the final months of his life, he was confined to bed. Calvin Morley died on May 16, 1896, at the age of 74. He was buried in the Morley family plot at the cemetery he had helped establish. Maria Morley lived another 4 years after her husband's death. She became ill in late 1899, and by February 2, 1900, she was confined to bed with a diagnosis of stomach cancer and was being cared for by a friend. She passed away on February 15, 1900, at the age of 75, and was buried beside Calvin in the same family plot. At this point in the monument restoration, I've gotten both stones placed. I have the base leveled. I have the upper part placed on there. I am in the process of putting monument setting compound on to help it stay in place properly, keep water out, and have already placed in the epoxy sealer. Well, here's the end of our day's work. The stone is up. It needs cleaning, and the ground behind it, where the top part had been laying, needs to be filled in with some dirt. But it is in a good position for the first time in at least 10 years, if not longer. And it should stay up for quite a while. If you enjoy this type of video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Consider sharing this with other people who may enjoy watching old gravestones restored to their former glory.